Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Grimrock. Today, on episode 3, we are going to be going into our first dungeon. So, these underground areas remind me a lot of the original Grimrock. You also usually want to have someone with a torch in their hand, so it's a lot easier to see. And yeah, the entirety of Grimrock 1 took place in a dungeon much like this that was just huge, and you were trying to make your way up the dungeon to the top, if I remember correctly. So here's the Scroll of Shock. This we would be able to use if Chris had air magic, but we're going mostly into earth and fire at the moment. Give a health potion to me, and give lockpick to Jess. So some of the chests that we'll come across will be locked, and we'll have to use lockpicks in order to open them. But there are more lock chests than there are lockpicks in the game, so we won't be able to open every single one of them. So here's the Hall of the Dead. If we pull this chain, the gate should open. I think I can hear something walking around in here. No? Weird. So if we look at this box over here, thought I heard an enemy. If I look at this box over here, inside of it is a flintlock and some ammo. So right now Josh is going into missile weapons, and I think eventually I want him to go into firearms, but for right now I would prefer him to go for missile weapons, simply because if we use the firearms too early in the game, we won't have enough ammo later in the game. It is a very strong early game, however, but I'd much rather wait and save it for some of the harder stuff later on in the game. So here we have some leather boots. Protection 4, we'll give those to myself. We can give my old sandals to Jess. So I'm just looking on the walls here for some hidden buttons, like that one. I can definitely hear something walking around. It might be further down in the dungeon. And that button opens this secret tunnel. Here, we're outside. And actually, if you look to the map, we're right next to where we spawned. And if you look out here, that's the ship we crashed in the first cutscene. Way back here in the distance. So we'll just kill these two turtles. Pick up some of this ether weed, give it to Josh. Donate to Josh. Here we have our first lock chest. If we take the lockpick and use it on it, we can get a tribal mask, which I'll give to Chris because it gives bonus energy, which is very useful. We have a healing potion, which I'll give to Jess because she's the weaker of the two front lines at the moment. Since I rely on protection, most of the protection armor that we've been getting I've been using for myself, where Jess relies more on evade, where evade's a lot harder to build early game. Even though it seems like I have more protection, since even though it seems she has more evasion than my 13 protection, the 13 protection goes a lot farther than 15 evasion. So if we step on this pressure plate, the door we want to go through is shut. So what we want to do is leave something on this pressure plate so that when we hit this button to reset it, the pressure plate's already pressed down. Now I'm almost certain I can hear a mummy around. Yeah, there he is. There's two of you. There's three of you. Okay. I do not want to get surrounded by these guys, so I'm going to try and back myself into something of a corner so I can fight one at a time. As soon as he walks in, we'll hit him with a fire spell from Chris, because mummies are weak against fire. They're immune to poison, however, and most earth spells. Even, see, our poison cloud spell does nothing against him. Chris is out of energy. Want to pick the rocks up. There's one left. We can go out and fight him. Chris is very much out of energy. Hoping he can build up enough for a spell. There we go. Oh, and there we go. Everyone leveled up. And Josh gained a dexterity from his mutation, which is nice. Very good for his what I have him building for. So if we go into skills here, we can actually pick what skills we decide to level up. I think for Josh at first I'm going to do critical. Yeah. Increase your chance of scoring a critical. Actually, maybe I'll go missile weapons to increase the damage of missile weapons. Yeah, why not? Let's clear. Let's put him in missile weapons. Chris, we want to put into concentration. It'll help him. It'll help him increase his energy, because that's been the main issue we've been having with him. For Jess, we should keep going into dodge, try and get that evasion way up, so she feels a little bit safer in the front lines. For me, I'm gonna go armor. This way, when we come across some light armor, I already have the proficiency and won't have a penalty. So here we have another key, which we'll give to Jess. Just put it in her offhand. And here we go. I also want to see if there's any secret buttons, maybe. There's two more mummies in there, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And there's something on the table. Let's stay in this doorway and have them come to us. This way we don't wind up getting surrounded. There we go. And we'll just keep attacking. Good. Now what do we have here? The Horn of Summoning. Put that in my offhand. And when we come up here, it's actually nighttime. Interesting. And if we look at the map, we're actually somewhere very close to the places we've been before that just kind of cut off. And when we hit this button, it connects everything. So if you remember when we picked up the sword, Kilhagen's sword, he actually left us a clue saying that he buried something by this tree. If we use the shovel, we're actually able to find what Kilhagen left for us, which is the Embalmer's Robe. Gives us protection, vitality, would be good for my character in the front line. We can give our old shirt to Jess. And another healing potion, which we'll also give to Jess. Also, if you remember before we got the sword, we saw another one of these statues before we even saw the other one that opened the dungeon for us. If we take the same sword and place it on his hands, we actually open another secret door. This one gives us a golden key. Now, if you look at the map, we've actually explored most of Shipwreck Beach except for this little area right here. So it would appear that that's the last area we have to go to. Oh, there's a turtle here. And the turtle's dead. So here we have a circle of stones, a gate that seems to lead out to what looks like to be a forest. Welcome to your first challenge. When you are ready, stand in the circle and call out the guardians, the island master. Okay. There's also a door here with a key, which seems to match our golden key. Inside, we have a potion of strength, which I can give to me. It'll permanently increase my strength by 1. Some more ammo for the gun when we decide to use it. And a new dagger for Jess. This is actually a lot better than the sword she has now, because it scales off her dexterity rather than her strength, which is what we've been building on her. Now, I assume if we stand here, use this. Now, this is the first boss fight. I like to back myself in this corner. This way, our 2 back lines are relatively safe. These guys can absolutely destroy your back line if you let them. So, it's definitely good to make sure you're backed into this corner. The fire spell is also very helpful against them. Oh, accidentally just hit the horn. Whoops. Chris is out of energy, it seems. Pick up Josh's rocks. And just died. Oh no, that's really bad. Okay. I was just about to use a potion on her as well. Alrighty. Just about done it. And here we get a power gem, which I can explain what they do later. But first, I want to go back to this crystal so we can revive Jess, because she already missed out on a little bit of XP. We don't want her missing out anymore. Honestly, the evasion front line is a tough spot to be in the early game, but towards the late game, it can be pretty strong. So here we are in the Twigroot forest. If we open up our map, we'll see that it's just north of Shipwreck Beach, where we spend most of our time in game so far. There seems to be a sec left for us here. I see you have made some minor progress. Good, but don't let it get to your head. This is just the beginning, or it could be almost the end. It all depends entirely on you. Here is a tool you might find useful. Surely you can figure it out. The Island Master. So the Island Master seems to be kind of helping us, but kind of not helping us. It's very odd. He leaves stuff for us, but it doesn't seem like he wants us to survive. So what he left us was the Mortal and Pestle, which we can give to Josh to craft potions. On the scroll it says here that 1 blood drop cap gives you a healing potion, and 1 ether weed gives you an energy potion. So I'm going to make a bunch of energy potions straight away and give them to Chris, because he is struggling with his energy right now. And we can also make a health potion, give it to Jess, hopefully to prevent her from dying again. Put a mushroom on Josh. And here we have a plant enemy. Now these guys don't seem to be much of a threat, but if you don't pay attention, see, they're already doing a lot of damage to Jess. So you're going to want to make sure that they don't get to deal that much damage to you, because they hurt. There's another one in there, but I don't want to attack it. He might just stay there if I ignore him. There's another one here. Let's see if there's anything behind this bush. Some more ammo for the gun for when we decide to use it. And it looks like there's another dungeon. If we look at our map, we can see that it is the Twigroot tunnels. So if we keep progressing, there seems to be a chest behind a locked gate and a trap door with a pressure plate across it. So if we throw a rock over there, we can close the pressure plate. Oh, okay. Now we have these night guys. These guys were some of the most common enemies that we fought in Grimrock 1. We're going to be real careful that Jess doesn't die here. But yeah, most of your time in Grimrock 1 was actually spent fighting these guys. So what I just did there was I swapped Josh into our front line and Jess into our back line so that Jess doesn't take as much damage. Okay, now we can swap them back. Now what I can do here is first pick this up. This is a shield that grants evasion, but lowers your health. I'm going to give this to Jess to increase her evasion. I also am going to have us rest so that we can all regen our stuff. Chris is hungry, so we're going to give him some food. It seems like everyone's a little hungry, so we might as well just feed everyone while we're at it. Okay, and we can keep going. Here's one of our rocks. Now here's a tattered cloak. This also increases evasion, so we'll give this to Jess. And a key that we'll also give to Jess. Okay. Now I'm gonna put something down here that we aren't gonna use much of, like this torch. This way we can take this rock back and not fall into the hole. Now if we take this key, you can see what's in here. Scroll of ice shards, water magic and earth magic, which we only have the earth magic. Give the spells to Chris. A key that we don't quite know what it does yet, and a frost bomb that we'll give to Josh. You can already see that there's a secret button on that door, and there's another soldier behind it. Just try and kill him as fast as possible. There we go. This time we got a helmet. Heavy armor. We don't have the heavy armor trait, so we'll get a negative 10 evasion penalty, but I think it's worth it. We're not really evading attacks anyway. We can give this staff to Chris. And actually I can put this in my offhand to counter that evasion penalty a little bit. There's also a lizard on a stick here that someone can eat. And I'm also going to... Oh, no. Looks like we're just going to leave. Okay. Now, let's open up the map. Let's see, we still have the right area to explore, so let's go over there. Okay, nothing there. frostbite necklace. That just gives frost resist. It's not really going to come in handy just yet. Looks like our torch is dying. Okay, just getting quite low again. Here we have some light armor, 3 protection, but we have the proficiency. We can give the embalmer's robe to Jess, and we can give the shirt to Josh. So now we're slowly starting to even protect our back line a bit more, which is nice. We should probably equip a torch since it is nighttime. And throw out that burnt torch. Actually, let's open up the map a bit. Okay, so it looks like we have to start going north more. A blood cap. Another creature, so let's kill him. Oh, I didn't realize how low Jess was. Oh my god. Probably didn't have to waste that potion. I probably could have just slept, but it's fine. I think this is the way back to the tunnels. So let's keep going up this way. Looks like there's another creature here. Pressure regen some of his mana. So it seems like Josh can make a couple more health potions to give to Jess. And here's where we'll use the key that we found in the tunnels. And here we find a pretty tall tower, if I do say so. If we walk up here and hit this crystal, we can open the door. See these creepy stone faces? Bring forth 4 power gems to fuse them into the essence of the element. Not all the gems lay under the skies, some of them are buried deep underground. Hear ye, O traveler of the dark. Be aware of the elemental shrines. Once houses of light, now refurbished by the masters of the island, the shrines hold the key to thy survival. Visit all of them and do what the stone philosophers demand, and thee may be granted a way out, if that's what thee most desire. So what I thought was interesting about what these guys say is he refers to the masters, where it's plural, whereas all the letters have been singular, the island master, which I always found to be quite interesting. Maybe just a discrepancy, I don't know. This is the elemental shrine of fire. Fire is the rune of strength, magma, and heat. Northwest is whence the forces of fire are strongest. So it looks like we're going to have to get 3 more of these power gems and bring them here to make some kind of fire element. Feels good to have something of a goal, though. See you next time.